Test, test. Test, 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 test. Yes. Test, test.
Estamos hablando.
Ahí está, pues.
Maybe. Nice.
Test, test. Can the people who are in the video call confirm that you can hear me right now? In the chat? Awesome. Thank you, Joaquin. Thank you. Test, test. Hello, everyone, also in the video chat. We're starting a bit later because we have some students who are late. I think it's a tradition. So give us 5 to 10 minutes and then we will start. Test, test.
¿De qué sé? ¿Qué estará graduando?
A la noche de Madrid, una secta inusual.
¿Tú alguna? Ah, sí, sí. Hay unos que están allá. ¿Tú alguna vez has estado ahí?
Hola, ¿qué tal?
Test, test. Can everyone on the video stream hear me as well? Quick confirmation in the chat. Yeah, thank you, Joaquin. Awesome.
Yes, I can hear you.
Good. Now, if everyone on the video stream can mute, it would be awesome. Otherwise, you're going to interfere my speech. Good. I think we're going to start. Have a seat, guys. Yeah, there's fine. Perfect. Looking neat. That's good. Cool. We can start, everyone. Thanks for coming. So yeah, it's taken us 8 months. It's taken us a small pandemic, but we're here, which is awesome. And we're actually somehow in person while maintaining the distance. So that's what I want to start with today, actually, is by saying really, we have to maintain a distance. Glovo has very nicely offered the space, but of course, it means we have to keep the distance of at least 1.5 meters, use your own cup, wash your hands regularly. There's a lot of stuff on the tables to clean your hands. So really take this seriously, and also simply because we do not want to spread anything today. So yeah, that's a quick safety instructions. So today I'm going to do a quick introduction. Well, I'm already doing it. Carlos will talk a bit about coding because he knows way more about that than me. And he will talk a bit about his experience because everyone here, you were the first groups that Carlos went from A to, well, to now with. So he's going to talk a bit about that. Then we got Ricard, where we over there, one of the main instructors. Probably some of you never met him actually in person, so that's him. He's going to talk a bit about, well, his experience as a main instructor, and of course, from the perspective of being an instructor, but remote instructor. That's the first time we ever did this. And then we got actually the story from some students. So we got Alexei, you entered, and Esteban were over here. So they're going to talk shortly about their experience, how it was to be a remote, well, actually one of the first remote MigraCode students. And then it's me again, well, introducing all of you, because in the end, it's about all of you today. I think the event will last around 1 hour, hour and a half, and then we have 1 hour to just talk a bit, and that's everything. But also then, if you're in a small group, it's maximum 6 people together, and keep the distance, please. So first, well, 2 special mentions. First, Florencia over there, who has been an amazing help so far and still is. She's working for Glovo with organizing all this, helping us with the partnership between MigraCode and Glovo. Of course, it was Biljana as well in the beginning. And now Florencia took over. So really thank you, because I know how much work you've put into this. And of course, Glovo itself, who also, well, offered us a lot. Of course, many of the students have been writing for Glovo or still doing this. So it was for us a great way to find you. But also in financial terms, they helped us a lot. But of course, offering the spaces. In theory, during your whole MigraCode course, you would have been in the Glovo office having the classes. Well, that changed a little bit. But yeah, so many things that Glovo has helped us with, and also with the events. And of course, today, to actually have this event in person. So that's been a lot of help for us. Yeah, some know this slide from last week on Wednesday when we did the final presentations. But just to give a bit of context for those who didn't hear this part yet, just want to go back to March. So in March, we started really close to here, also in Pueblo now, with in-person classes. It was the 14th of March, I think. And it was 2 weeks before the big lockdown in Spain. So we did presential classes. We had a great opening event in the other building. And yeah, all this together, we were having in-person contact, and especially, well, considering what MigraCode is doing, not just tech education, but also community building, this was a very important aspect of what we were doing. So yeah, of course, COVID changed a lot. So what did it change? Yeah, I would call it like we all went into a new normal. Well, first a lockdown. But the new normal for MigraCode meant that we did fully online classes for the first time. And I remember me, where are you, Carlos? Over there. That Carlos and I were in a bar while you guys were having class. And I was like, mate, I think soon we have to switch to online classes. That was 1 week before the lockdown. And we're like, how the hell are we going to do that? Because it's already tough to manage these classes and to have this in-person contact with all the students. How are we going to do this online? And how are we going to work on community building when we only see each other online? But we had to, we did, we improvised a lot, as what we always do with MigraCode. And yeah, with help from volunteers and from you and the students, we managed somehow. And that even meant that not just the classes, but also the actual job search, when that started about 2-3 months ago, and what we're still doing. And all the interviews that you may have done with companies already, or maybe just a practice interview with our volunteers, everything online, including the final projects. Well, we've been through the final projects. All of you have done amazing projects, made amazing products, and all of this was done online. So that's actually very, very impressive. And I'm super happy that we somehow managed to pull through online. I didn't know it was possible. Well, of course, what helped a little bit is amazing support. So as you know, in the end, it's just me and Carlos who are actually employed within MigraCode. And everyone else are volunteers or maybe interns, trainees like Michaela, but most of the people are full volunteers. And we have a lot, and I thought of trying to find in Slack who helped the March groups, who was doing this. I would need another hour to go through all the people who have been involved with all of you. I'm just going to mention a few. So we got Alicia from the psychologists, for instance, also Luciana and Alex, and also Sylvia joining now, helping us, helping students with other issues next to MigraCode. We got people like Ben helping with the classes, helping with setting up laptops. Crystal, you're behind the small video, but of course, everyone knows Crystal as well, helping with the employability part. We got Daniel doing so many support next to the classes, in the classes, same as Elena, and Elena even trying to get our students into jobs via her company. Mirta helping us with events, also helping students with employability. Francelis being a main instructor for the other group, but also helping students. Jordi, I don't know how many classes he was in, but a lot as well. And Angelo, where are you? Well, now managing the Zoom call, but Angelo joined us halfway your classes, and Angelo came through us as an ESC volunteer, European Solidarity Corps volunteer, and he's of course also been of great help to the students, but also to me and Carlos. So yeah, really happy that you joined us, Angelo. Well, there are way more people, and I'm really sorry if there are instructors watching and thinking, hey, but I also did a lot. I know, but it's difficult to mention all of you. So of course, Slack helped a lot, being online especially. So we had support employability and support technical as the channels where all of you were asking help. Technical, well, the name says it. Employability, if you had any questions, I need to make a CV, I need to prepare for a job interview. And support technical for any technical questions regarding homework. Just some examples. I think it's nice. I don't know if it's clear to read. I think online it is. But this went so smoothly. And I'm still surprised yesterday I was adding these slides and I was reading through the Slack channels, and it's just bloody amazing how you guys are asking, responding, how the instructors reply, and well, you see a lot of love here, a lot of hearts. But, you know, so many people helping, so many people being involved. This was regarding technical questions. But of course, we had the employability channel with sharing the CV. Seeing here Crystal writing a half of a book with feedback to improve Umid's CV, etc., 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 with feedback, and help. So yeah, this was quite impressive by students and volunteers. And of course, we have those volunteers, some of them are here today, who were either helping as a main instructor, so teaching 3 weeks in a row, or being a supervisor of the final projects. So Martin, Harriet, Juan Diego, Nandan, Jonna, Jeff, Eduard, Kamel, Jay, Flaminia, Juan, Leander, Stefanos, Antonio, Giorgio, Lino. Well, some of them are here today. I'm not mentioning Ricard on purpose because he'll be here later. But yeah, they invested so much time, and not just once every 2 months, but for a very intense period of time in a row, next to often full-time jobs and a lot of other things going on. Yeah, big thanks, obviously. And then we have this guy, who's supposed to work part-time, but I think he is doing a lot more to help all of you on an individual level, on a group level, helping the volunteers that we've seen here preparing their classes. I am sure that we would have not survived COVID if Carlos wasn't here, because I was getting very lost with what we were teaching. And Carlos is making the structure and helping everyone with actually understanding what we're actually learning. So Carlos, you can use that mic, and in the meantime, I'm going to clean this one, so you can just put it up and it should work. Give the word to you to talk a bit about your experience.
Hello, can you hear me? Yes. Okay, so this place is amazing, and well, and see your faces again after a lot of months. I'm very happy about that. So thanks to all that make this possible, and see you at least the day of the graduation. So we started, I think, that just 2 weeks in person, and then we switched to online. We have been our faces on internet, more mine than yours, because you don't like to put the camera. And I have to, I think. But well, here we are. And as I said, I'm very happy to see you again. Well, I'm supposed to talk about coding. Where do we start? So now, after 8 months, so most of you started from no knowledge about coding, and today you are here. So being here doesn't mean nothing, but for me, on Wednesday, we had the presentation of the final projects, and well, I see a lot of work there. I saw that you are able to work, and well, and that's the most important, because you are able to build applications, and you are able to demonstrate your value for a job interview, I think. So talking about coding, so in my first job, I had the lead of development of my team said that you need minimum 10,000 hours to be good at something. So you can search on internet, but there are some people that say that you need this amount of hours, and it is 5 years more or less. But in coding, you are never a master, so you will never know everything. And that's the truth. So for example, the other day, I tried to deploy an application on Heroku. I had never used Heroku, and I struggled a lot. And it took for me some hours to finally find the solution. But well, in coding, you will never be a master, and you will always be learning. So, but the number of hours is very important. So when you started with 0, you had no idea. The other day, a lot of students of the new group joined the video.
Te cuento que sí, te cuento que no es tan pase. ¿Ha ido a pasar fin de semana a la
¿En
casa?
cuánto?
Fin de semana va a terminar. Ya, entonces
front end, but also we work on the back end and with databases, and we are able to get information from a database. We're able to store information in the database. So you are learning a lot of things, and not only coding. So you are learning how to work in a team. You are learning about how to use GitHub. You are learning how to deploy an application on and make it public. So I think that you learn a lot of things, and this is the value of the course, and it gives you the power to continue. So for now, I was calculating, and you have been only 1,000 hours coding. If you coded 30 hours a week for 8 months, and this is it's very, very low. So what I mean with that is that, but now you can build a lot of things. So imagine what you can do in 1 more year. Or imagine that instead in the final projects, you did it in 6 weeks. Imagine that you have now 3 months to do it. So you can build even better things. So, and that's the life of a programmer. So time is very important. And I'm happy because what I see today is that the only thing that stops you from a senior developer job is time. So the only thing that you need is time. I heard that some of you already have a job. Some others are in a lot of interviews. Some others are doing mini projects for companies as an autonomo or a freelancer, or for free. But you are still coding, and this is very important because now you are in. And once you are in, if even more hours you put, you will be better. So, well, I'm happy that you are here, and yes, that's all. The only thing that you need is time. And if you go to an interview and they will ask you perhaps a lot of questions, if you know this, if you know the others. So what you have to show them is that the only thing that stops you for a lot of things is time. And that's all.
Give me 1 second. There you are, Ricard. So,
Hope so, yeah.
Ricard.
Hello, guys. So nice to see you hello to see you finally in person. Well, I think we first meet at the very beginning of the course because I was here helping, mounting or setting up the laptops, and in the very first class, I was here helping Mattia, I guess. And yeah, I have been asked to share my experiences as instructor. Because I have been involved also in the first group as a site instructor, but this time I have been main instructor for databases. So yeah, of course, for me it has been, besides trying to help you on improving your skills, for me it has been a really good opportunity, because it enabled me to improve as a teacher. And being a teacher is not easy at all. It's not only about getting the syllabus and just reading it in your way or just throwing a bunch of techie words. It's making sure that the students are learning something new during the sessions, and you are learning you are in some way enjoying what you are learning. And that's not easy. Actually, when I was thinking, okay, you are going to teach databases, and you have been working with SQL for around 20 years, so I don't even need to prepare anything, because this has to be quite easy to me. But then I started asking myself, well, can I add a subquery when I do an update? How do I explain a join or the different types of joins? Because at some point you just do it. You are requested to extract some data from the database, and you just build a query, but you don't really think anymore on which kind of joins are you using, which kind of foreign keys are you using, which kind of index we were. And converting this knowledge, something you already take for granted, to sharing this knowledge, converting this into words that can be really understood by the students, is not easy at all. Actually, I had to prepare the lessons, and this took me a while, but more or less was doable. And then when you start in the first session, then obviously you have to, in some way, achieve this keeping the students enjoying what they are learning. And this is super more difficult, because I had been in the first group in the presential classes, and it was also difficult, but it's a way easier when you are in person, because you can just look at the faces of the students, and you can notice, okay, these guys are about to suicide, so let's do a break, or let's do something. But when you are working remotely, it's really hard to notice when the people is not really attending, or they are already bored, or they want to do a break. So the only tools you have is the what you are saying and what you are typing on the chat, and it's not easy at all. So sometimes you just have to guess, or just check your clock and say, okay, let's do a break, and let's switch from theory to practical exercise. And well, at some point, in some way, I hope I manage, but it's really, it's not easy, and even worse when you're working, when you're doing it remotely. But obviously, working with this kind of group, it makes a bit easier, because you all are super nice. So it's really, in some way, it's really easy doing this teaching, because you were always eager to learn, and that made it a bit easier. And then obviously, I was thinking also, well, working with this bootcamp, because there are several bootcamps here in Barcelona. So what makes this project a bit special? No, this MigraCode project is not only about a coding school, because we are building some sort of community as well. We are still in touch with the first group, for instance. So it's way more, something more bigger than just explaining how to code. I think you're strict, because as Carlos said, you need to keep growing, you need to keep learning. But I think your strength has to be how engaged or how committed you can be on building a new application, on starting a new project, because it has to be, you feel that you all are really engaged on keep learning. And another thing I would like to share with you, because in some way I am a bit jealous about you, because what we have been doing this, I think all the main instructors we have been trying to do for you is not, because we cannot teach everything, it's impossible. Myself, I still keep learning some stuff every day, but I think we can manage to give you the tools for you to keep learning on your own, because you are just at the very beginning of your journey. This is just the very beginning. Let's say you already know how to code in JavaScript, but it's not only about, I think you already realize that coding is not only about the language itself. It's not only about writing sentences in JavaScript or in SQL when you have to access the database, but you can use JavaScript in the front end. You know what a component is, how to build a component in React. You know also how to make a website to be responsive. This is another concept, and then CSS is just the tool you can use, or Bootstrap or any other tools. You know how to fetch data from a backend, so you know how a client works, how a server works, what responsibility is in each side. So you get, you know, coding is not only about knowing a language, but also learning the concept of designing a real application, and you made it in the final project. And I was really impressed what you made in 6 weeks. I already said several times, but I am still impressed on what you made in 6 weeks. And I was quite happy when I saw most of you show the database. So I said, okay, at this point, because when you are teaching, you have this continuous feeling that I am doing good enough for these guys to really understand what I am explaining. So, and you finish the lessons, and you keep this feeling, but at the end, when I saw you showing these diagrams, okay, in some way I managed to share some knowledge. So that's quite good. So you have some tools, but it's just a teeny part of everything, what these tools you have, but this is going to enable you and empower you to keep learning. You know, as I said, you are at the very beginning of the journey, but from now you can keep learning I don't know, different kinds of databases as MongoDB. You can understand how a distributed database is working. You can learn how to build a distribution key, what is data sharding. You can keep learning new languages. You can learn Java, you can learn Scala. You can learn many new things. You can learn in terms of design. You can learn what domain-driven design means, how to properly work in TDD, because you have a rough idea about TDD, but TDD is a methodology, so you can keep learning on this. What is, I don't know, what is the mandatory client, how to make your application to be deterministic, just in terms on I don't know, you can, in terms of database, you have been working with relational database, you can keep learning on non-relational database. And there is a big vault in front of you, but I guess, and I hope you already got the tools to keep growing on your own. And it looks like, based on the projects you made, it looks like you really achieved it. And that, I think, for us, for the instructors, is the main, I don't know, the most beautiful thing for us, because in some way we helped you in doing this change and allowing you to be in this world. And hopefully we in some way we managed doing it. So as a summary, for me it has been super good helping you, but for me it has been an opportunity of improving as a teacher. So this project is a really nice thing, and I think it's a win-win for both sides. And I really encourage, or I would say, if anyone is asking himself or herself if I could become an instructor, just do it, try it, because there is people around. It's going to help you if you have doubts or you have some issues. So probably go for it. And as I said, working with this group of students, it just makes it way easier. So yeah, thank you for being here. And it has been a pleasure.
Awesome. Thank you, Ricard. Thank you very much. And not just for speaking today, but of course, for the ridiculous involvement you have been so far with these March groups, but also with all the other groups and well, helping so much. Yeah, we go on to the next speakers. which are actually more from the student perspective. So yeah, like I said before, Alexei and Esteban, you're both part of this group that for the first time did MigraCode remotely and finished successfully. To be honest, I don't remember. Who did I tell to go first? You're pointing towards each other. That's. I don't mind. You go first, Esteban. Okay, let's. I give the word to you, Esteban. Let me clean the mic and I give it to you, and you can speak.
Okay, good afternoon, fellow mates. My name is Esteban Medina. For those of you who didn't share a class with me, I'm from Uruguay and Venezuela. Well, I think this has been a really special year. This 2020 it's gonna be reminded by us, or it's gonna keep in our memories for a good time, if not for the rest of our lives. And I think it's not only because of this course that we took here in MigraCode, but because of the events that we have to share due to the COVID. And I think that we all share not only experiences, but feelings that are unique. I believe that all of us got to share a feeling of resilience, diligence, and adaptiveness, and fellowship. I truly believe that that we got to this point because we were able to adapt in these circumstances. And I also believe that MigraCode looked at it as a unit, also adapted, responded, and care for for everybody, not only for the students, but for everybody that's been involved with MigraCode. And that's an experience that is gonna be in our heads for the rest of our lives. So I was thinking, and I was writing down some notes this morning of what to say, but I really wanted to express, to point out the feelings because of the what's happening this year to all of us. And I think by sharing this, I can say that I feel that MigraCode is, it's not only, as Ricard said, it's not only a coding bootcamp. I think it's a community of people that wants to share, wants to give, that wants to make something good for not only for society, but for, of course, for coding. And I'm truly happy to be part of that, and to stand here today to talk about it. I at the beginning, I also had my doubts that at the end of 8 months, I was going to be able to complete a whole project, but here I am, at first-hand witness, and I'm really thankful about it. So I'm really happy to be sharing my experiences in MigraCode, and I want to congratulate all of you today, and thanks the MigraCode for giving this opportunity to me.
Hello, yes. Thank you, Esteban. Very, very nice words. Thank you so much for preparing this quite last minute as well, because as I was saying earlier, we just found out a week ago it was actually possible to do this whole event. So I think everything has been arranged in the last 2-3 days, including all these speeches. I think it's the same for Alexei, who quite last minute also arranged this. So yeah, Alexei, I'm going to give the word to you. I'm going to clean this one again because I'm screwing up the mics here because I should have cleaned anyway. Give me a sec and I give the mic to you.
Hola, ahora, no. Okay, most of you already know me. For those who don't, I am Alexei Soriz. I'm from Bolivia. And I am almost a graduate MigraCode Academy student. Well, as almost all of you, 9 months ago, I received an email from Globo asking me if I wanted to become a programmer. My situation on that moment was the following. I was working as a rider, delivering happiness through Barcelona, while I was trying to finish my economics degree. But try to perform the two tasks was a little bit difficult for me, and it made my day frustrating. Of course, I wanted to become a programmer. I did some websites for my personal projects, but the coding schools were like no less from 4,000 euros, and as a rider, you can't achieve that. Well, I started to study here in MigraCode with a lot of enthusiasm, trying to get all the 10% of, well, 100% of this of this opportunity, okay? But suddenly, COVID, the army on the streets, the lockdown, and my roomies and I went to Mallorca, come back to Mallorca. I had to come back with my family, with my parents, thank you. A little bit disappointed for that. But MigraCode, Carlos, Vincent, all the environment, the volunteers, you demonstrate that you were totally, fully prepared for the problem. Well, what I have now, I have learned HTML, CSS, React, Node.js, Express. Before that, I had no my professional career and my personal life. I had no reason for that, but now I feel that I have more. And I like MigraCode because even we can't change the cruelty of this world. Some MigraCode is changing completely individual lives. And that's all, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alexei, also for your very nice words and for preparing this. It's appreciated a lot. And sorry, I'm multitasking with logistics. Is the echo? No. Where's the echo coming from? Muted? Okay, good. Thanks, Angelo. So yeah, I think, and I'm going too quick, that gave a very good insight. Again, thank you, Alexei and Esteban, in like how it was to be a MigraCode student, and especially to be a MigraCode student during a lockdown and being at home and facing all these difficulties of, well, as everyone did in Barcelona and in Catalonia and in Spain. But of course, indeed, many of our students faced a lot of additional challenges. As a migrant, it is just, I mean, I'm not speaking from my own experience because I'm very privileged to be born in Europe, but I just see with each and any person coming from outside Europe not having the work permit or not having valid education, even though they may have done a master's in their home country, how much challenges this brings in the lives of many people. Right now, it's many people from Venezuela, but of course, all over the world, from Syria to Eastern Europe. There are many reasons for people to come to Europe or come to Catalonia, to Barcelona, but then it's still very, very difficult to actually make a head start. And yeah, we're happy that we're trying to support, well, you and also the other students from the other groups with that. But it's in the end mostly an effort from you, from the students, because you are working your ass off every week. You have been working your ass off every week, up to 30, 35 hours following the classes online, doing the homework online, having one-to-ones online, all day behind the screen, and for 2 months not being able to go out. I cannot imagine that. And also keeping in mind that many of our students were in an environment where it was almost impossible to study. With small rooms, maybe a lot of people moving during the lockdown. Well, I'll go through some of the student stories, but yeah, everyone at MigraCode is pretty impressed. Again, thank you, Alexa and Esteban. And I'm giving up on this thing because I got a low battery. That's not good. Carlos, can you find my charger is over here. I just have to find a plug. Well, if you can take care of that. Head of education, always useful. So yeah, what I was saying, it's in the end, it's about you. And for those few that are not here, who are either abroad or simply couldn't make it today, but about the students, well, as it's saying, are graduates because you're finished with MigraCode. Well, finished with the course, but I'll get back to that later. So yeah, as you can see on the slide, there are many nationalities in MigraCode, which is just super, super nice because it brings a lot of different cultures. It brings different backgrounds. I mean, I heard so many stories. It's incredible, and so many impressive stories, which is much related to the fact that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 nationalities in this class only. So yeah, I'm gonna go quickly through all the students. I'm gonna keep it short. Some students I know also a bit more than the others because we had a lot of talks, maybe a little less. So bear with me on this one. But yeah, to honor your work basically, because like I said, it's pretty impressive. I feel like a fool pressing this thing and nothing happening. Okay, can you press once on the, yes, and now, yes, now it's working. Okay, so let's start with Umit. So Umit, I think you joined the Zoom call. Yeah, I'm actually sure. So Umit is actually on the Zoom call now because he is actually in Turkey. Right before the lockdown or after the lockdown, he had to go back to Turkey, to Istanbul, where he's from. And yes, we get a confirmation in the chat. That's good. Cannot put the camera. Well, we see your face here, so we're good, Umit. Thank you. This is very new, right? Talking to the screen chat. Well, anyway, I like it. So yeah, Umit. Yeah, working from Turkey, but he stayed in the program. I remember him asking, "Hey, I have to go back to Turkey. How's this going to work with MigraCode?" And we're like, "Well, it's fine. We're remote anyway." So Umit stayed, and he's still here. And he put a lot of effort as well in the final project in a challenging group, but they made it together, and partly because of Umit's, well, huge dedication to the project. So thank you, Umit, for joining MigraCode and still being here. And here we go. Oh no, now it's working. Now I'm going way too quick. I'm gonna get a replacement. Roshan, where are you? You moved over there. Roshan, well, I say hard for business because you actually come from a business background, right? Business administration. So also, like many students, Roshan is an example of changing a bit of the career. While on the other hand, business, you can use it very much in coding, project management, all these things. So also in the final project, I saw this coming back with also helping the team manage the whole team. And I'm quite sure with that mix of background, you'll definitely also get back into business actually. So thank you, Roshan, as well for joining us. Lavinia, right here. So yeah, we had quite a lot of calls because you faced a lot of challenges in terms of mostly related to your work, working full-time next to MigraCode. Every student that applies for MigraCode and tells me, yeah, I want to join. Yeah, I'm super motivated. Okay, good, good. What are you doing now? I'm working full-time. And the first thing I mostly tell them is, well, if you think it's okay, but I would not recommend it because you have to work your ass off. And well, that's basically what you did, Lavinia. You worked a lot in your own job, but also MigraCode during the classes, during the final project. And it was, I think, extremely challenging to combine it, but you managed. And I'm deeply impressed with that. So also thanks to you. Who's next? Alejandro, over there. So Alejandro is part of a couple. I'm going to give a sneak preview because Anna Namaya is next to Alejandro. And they live together because boyfriend and girlfriend. And it was super fun because I remember the first application interviews and it was like, hello, I'm Anna Namaya. And it was still in person. And Anna Maya was like, at the end, yeah, okay, super nice. I'm accepted. Okay, here's my boyfriend. And yeah, so that was super nice. And basically combining your stories because you both face the same challenges. You were living in a very small apartment in the beginning with 5 people, right? Yeah, so with family. Already after coming from Venezuela, which is already pretty much of a challenge, as many of you know, and you're both still here. I think by helping each other, maybe sometimes also killing each other, but that on the side, we forget about that now. So yeah, both of you, I think it's a pretty good team effort. And yeah, it's amazing you both are joining MigraCode together. This, yeah, yes, there we go. Ruben, where are you? Ah, you're very much in front. So yeah, I put this one here from working with animals to working with code because it's a good summary, right? So from being a vet in Venezuela as well, or at least studying vet, how do you pronounce it? Related to it, well, related to animals, let's put it like that. And coming here and then choosing to work with code, which is well, I think it's slightly different, I would say. But you managed to make the switch. And you're here, and you also did an amazing job in like choosing this complete new career path. And I think also you are this example of doing something in your home country which you cannot do here due to a whole lot of reasons, and you just push through and let's say screw it, I'm just going to do coding. Very impressive as well. Thank you, Ruben. Joaquin, in the end, you weren't able to join, so I think you're also on the stream. So maybe we can do the same thing like with Umit. Joaquin, can you? Yes. Oh, this is awesome. Next time, I'm going to tell all of you to just be in the chat. So Joaquin, well, you're a great example of, well, many of you have been delivery writers. And Glovo, I think, like I was saying in the beginning, has supported MigraCode a lot. But Glovo is also an opportunity for many migrants in Barcelona to work. It may be a very challenging job. You will have to work hard, but it is a job. It is an income. And also for Joaquin, I think you started with Glovo and while also working for pizza delivery company, specific pizza delivery. It's the story of many students. And it's a great start, but of course, many of our students, especially coming from a background where they maybe were studying a bachelor's or something, they want more at one point. So yeah, and at the moment, I think you're a great example of actually showing that you can grow into something way more, because right now, well, maybe you can share the website you shared with me in the chat of the studio that you have. But basically, Joaquin set up a studio with some friends where they basically do web development, web design, and they already have quite a lot of jobs, as far as I understood. There it is. So yeah, I cannot open it here, but if you're at home, yeah, can you apply for jobs there? That's a brilliant question. Yeah, I think he needs like 15 more web developers, and then that would be really good for us because again, we're 100% hiring rate. Maybe a free internship, and we just count it as hires. So yeah, Joaquin, one of the examples of like growing from being a writer as a great start and now growing into something more. Who's next? Ricardo, where are you? Over there. So yeah, another example well, a new example actually, because some people were doing something completely unrelated to coding in their home country. Ricardo, if I have it correct, you were doing, yes, okay. So many people had to check what were they doing again, so I'm worried I make a mistake here. But yeah, studying IT in Venezuela, but then due to the situation in Venezuela, I had to leave Venezuela, unfortunately, came here. And I think you just thought, well, let's continue with IT. And started to continue coding here with MigraCode and basically continuing his IT career, even though he already faced a challenge of having to drop it in his home country, which I only can imagine how demotivating that must be. But the other thing happened, you just continued. So also here, I can keep on saying that, quite impressed. So thanks, Ricardo, as well. Shane. So this is a good story. Well, all of them are good stories, but it's nice because it's super actual. It's happening right now. So that guy over there is actually right now has to choose between two jobs. So instead of me freaking out, is every student getting a job? This guy is just, no, I got two jobs. It's fine. I can choose one of these. And I'll just tell the other, no, I'm not interested. So I think it's the ultimate thing that we can reach, that students actually have to choose between jobs and can just choose, well, I like that one a little bit more. So Shaheen, you can be a pushy bastard. But I think it's awesome. Because of that, I think you got two job offers, and yeah, and I know why you're being pushy. I know your situation was also difficult, and you managed to pull through. And I think within a month, you're stabilized because you will have your job. So yeah, amazingly well done, Shane. Jose. So Jose is not here at the moment. I'm not sure if you are in the Zoom call, because I think it's really early in Mexico right now, because Jose is right now in Mexico. Jose, are you there? Are we gonna get a nice pop-up as well? I cannot work every time, right? I don't, sure. No, nothing happening. So Jose, well, we're recording, so I'll send it to him later. But so Jose, well, joined us and worked really hard. Lockdown came, he continued to work, final project start. And around that time, he faced, well, quite extremely difficult challenges, which also made him to have to go back to Mexico during, I think right before the final project started, to basically support his family. And that was a very difficult time, and it still is. But he managed to pull through somehow. He had to leave the final projects for a couple of weeks, but then a week before, even though the situation was far from stable again, he still joined the team. The team was like, sure, mate, get back in here. We don't care that you weren't there for a few weeks, and you can help with the final presentations, and you can present as well. You're in the team. And that's what Jose did. he joined the final project presentations and even presented a part of the project, because in the end, he also helped with building the idea of this project. So right now we're seeing, like, can Jose maybe join the other teams later from the July groups to see if he can be do another final project there. But in any case, yeah, it's been quite a ride for Jose. And well, I want to say he's here, but he's here somewhere in Mexico. But yeah, that's quite amazing as well. I think someone clicked on my screen and now I cannot. Ah, wait, now I'm going to fall. Yeah. Wait, don't do it. Okay, wait. Here we go. Yes. Okay, Tiago, where are you? Tiago. So, Tiago, I think this was also a good story. He was also working as a delivery rider, right? I think for various, at the same, it was a, well, like many of you, challenging. But you got your bike stolen, right? Like, I think it was at the beginning of the lockdown, right? Yeah, well, great timing. It's like all the shops close. I want to ride, I want to deliver food and make some money, and there goes my bike. So yeah, that's not helping the situation. That was already really tough, because even during the lockdown, even if you had a bike, even if you had some jobs for instance, Glovo, of course, it was also a really tough time for all the restaurants. So there was already not a lot of work, but of course, if you don't have a bike, either you have to run really, really fast, or you don't have a job. So yeah, basically, Tiago, somehow you pulled through. I don't know how exactly anymore, but you pulled through. And even to a point where you actually got a job as well. Right now, it's not a tech job yet, but you're in the right company where you can get a tech job, and we're pushing. But it's a great start. It's a stable salary. It's already a bit of a new life, and now we just put you in the tech job, and then you're there. And I think that has a lot to do with your eagerness to learn. I think you're still doing a lot of courses as well. So soon you're in that tech job. Congratulations as well. Eshan. Eshan couldn't come today because he texted me right before I'm sick. So I told him, well, then you cannot come. I'm sorry. And he already said himself. So that's really unfortunate. But Eshan, are you in the stream? Can we get a pop-up from you? Something in the chat, sign of life. Exciting. No. Okay, so he also has to watch the recording, or I just say nothing because now he's not hearing it. No. No. So actually, Eshan, also an interesting switch, because coming from Pakistan, well, I wanted to verify with him, but it's difficult now. But he was actually studying telecommunications, so somehow related to technology, but also an example of how students at MigraCode well, switch their careers completely through the program. And Eshan also decided to do that. And I think right now, actually, his combination of having done telecommunications with coding is actually a very interesting combination for companies. So I'm quite sure that soon one of the companies will need this combination, and he will also find a job. So Eshan, if you're still listening and just really quiet, or if you're looking this back later, congratulations as well. And yeah, I'm very sure you will get there as well. Well, we already had your story, so we're just going to skip. No. No, so Esteban, well, we heard your story. I think this, for me, is the thing I remember. We were talking about your age a lot, because Esteban likes to pretend he's 70 years old. And while he's actually learning like a 20-year-old, and actually, we don't care about anything about your background. We also don't care about your age. And especially in your case, like I'm saying, there was no difference made. So if you say that one more time, I'm gonna get really, really angry. So besides that, I think one thing that's really nice to mention that Esteban and I talked about a lot was his family, because his family wasn't here during the lockdown. Esteban came alone to Catalonia. But since 3 weeks, 1 month, your daughter and your wife came here, and now you're reunited, you have your own place, and now we just need to get that job, and you're in a tree maybe, and a cat, and then you have the whole thing. So amazing job as well, Esteban, and I'm really, really happy for you, because I know how much of a struggle it was with not having your family around, especially during a lockdown. Who's next? It's exciting, this, like, Alexei. Well, also we've done this, so where are you now? So Alexei, I think this is also a funny story, because Alexei just dragged his whole family into the new MigraCode courses. So we have his brother and his father right now in the new July groups, and it's fucking amazing. I mean, if everyone did that, we would have like 5 classes at the same time. So if someone has some brothers or sisters, drag them in. No, that's of course super nice. So I'm really happy about that. That MigraCode basically spreads to many ways. But besides that, well, we heard your story, and it's also very impressive. And yeah, I'm really happy that you also joined, and congratulations to you as well. And again, thanks for sharing your experience as well. Alexa, where are you? Over there. So we also have a lot of students, and Alexa, you're an example of being a bit of an entrepreneur. And I think being an entrepreneur means you're good at combining experience. And I think one of the things you wrote me once, I don't know if it was in your motivation letter or something, is that you were doing a lot of things all over the world, different kind of sectors where you were working in. And I think you're using all that to basically, when you're coding, and I think that's something you should use when you apply for jobs, that you have this mixed experience, international experience, and you're good in selling it as well, I think. So yeah, that's also quite impressive, to use this mix of things to actually start coding as well, and basically use coding complement all the other things you're already doing. And I think that's also a good example of how basically any of you, because you all have your different backgrounds, can use these backgrounds to combined with coding, do something really valuable for companies, or even like on a more like to the world, like doing something good. So congratulations as well, Alexei. Jan, hidden there. So it took me so long to just, you're from Romania, but actually you lived in Germany, and then you came to Spain, and then I still have to always get your story straight. But originally from Romania, but also lived in Germany. And well, Jan already had some experience, I think, before. Well, quite a lot, right? Some? Not really, but I'm even more impressed. Because right now, I had to double check if it was a Swiss company. This is why. I texted him, you are doing something for a Swiss company, right? Yes, why? I said, oh, no, nothing. So right now he's actually, well, you're doing a project, right? Where you're basically, they ask you to make an app to measure some data, and basically you're delivering it. And if they are okay, you actually have your first real job with your brother, right? So again, this is a family business as well. So yeah, also congratulations, Jan. And yeah, I think you also gathered a shitload of skills as well. Sorry for that. So congratulations as well. So where are you? Over there in the back. So you were the one where we were talking about your apartment, right? Completely in the beginning of the lockdown, you had to move apartment, right? Yeah. I just want to verify that, because I wasn't sure, but I remember us talking, and you were saying, well, it's a good example. I wanted to mention it because I was saying, especially during a lockdown, a lot of our students faced a lot of different challenges, like living in small rooms with a lot of people. But we also had various students who were actually, well, had other issues. And one of yours was actually that you, during a lockdown, had to move, had issues with the old apartment, had to go to the new one. Well, it was quite a story. I remember we talked about it for a few weeks. I think it was quite a long process. And also, well, in the end, you managed to pull through and still coded at the same time, still coding from the different apartments where you were living. And I think with that, you were even doing some JavaScript courses on the side. So I don't know how you all did this while facing these challenges, but you're another great example of the motivation you all have. So thanks as well, José. Jorge, where? Oh, I was worried your picture wasn't showing up, but I was a bit hesitating. Should we show this picture? Jorge, so this guy can really talk, like really well talker. So I was thinking from the moment I met him, and this guy is going to find a job like this, because even if he cannot code, he's going to talk his way into a coding job without even knowing how to code. He doesn't have to do MigraCode. So, but yeah, that's the fun part. But at the same time, Jorge was also supporting his family, mother, your wife, and 2 daughters, right? Daughter and a son, sorry. Yeah, all the different family, daughter and a son. And that's not easy, especially when you just arrived to Catalonia. There are a lot of challenges already if you're on your own, but if you're with a family and you're actually providing for the family, this is extra challenging. So yeah, we talked about this a lot, and I know how difficult it was. But the amazing news is, well, basically, if you get your work permit this or next week, which is supposed to happen, well, you never know, but I'm quite positive you actually have your job, because the job already done. They're just waiting for Jorge to give the work permit, and he will start next 19th of October. 12 already, 12, bloody hell. So amazing, that's great, and I'm really happy for you. And I think, is your wife now as well in the application process for something already? Starting. Okay. So that, yeah. So through the same company, WebHelp, Jorge's wife actually also is in the application process for also a job. So that means suddenly 2 people from having basically nothing, having a steady income and everything. So I'm really happy for you, Jorge, because I know how much of a challenge that was during the lockdown until now. Wait, this is going too quick because I don't have a slide for you, but I think you're in the Zoom call, Victoria. Maybe, I don't know, because I know you have your daughter there that's probably smashing the keyboard on the same at the same time. But I think I saw you. I just wanted to mention Victoria was, well, it's the second time she joined MigraCode. She has a daughter of 2 years old. Ages, I'm really bad with effing. 2 years old. 3 years. There, Victoria's there. 3 years old. Well, when she started with us, 2 years old. So she started in the October group, but then a lot of challenges. Also, she also faced a lot of challenges. So I think during JavaScript, in the October group, she had to drop out. But we said, look, if you want to join again, just join again and you can start again. She did. And that's impressive because it was very challenging for us, you know, having a daughter, having to take care of the daughter, also not living in a very big house, for instance. It's very challenging. But she pushed through, joined again, and made it further than JavaScript, made it till the final projects. Unfortunately, like for many people, COVID brought many challenges, also for Victoria. So she had to temporarily drop out again, but I am quite sure that she will either do a project on her own, or she will, like Jose, maybe actually join the new groups to make a full final project as well. So Victoria, for sure, we're not done with you yet, and it's completely up to you how you want to be involved. But yeah, we are very much ready to help you with your final project, and yeah. Completely finish MigraCode as well. So yeah, I would like to give everyone their diploma, but there are 3 reasons why I don't do that. First of all, I didn't have time to print them. Forget that comment. Second reason, which is way more feasible, is it's not very COVID safe. That's my excuse 1. And excuse number 3, it's not very environmental friendly. So I hope you forgive me with these 2 excuses. But I'm going to send them by email. Anyhow, you don't probably need any paper version at the moment because all jobs are, well, the whole application processes are going online right now. So next week, I'm going to prepare them for each one of you. and I will send them straight to your email. So for instance, if you didn't receive the invite, the calendar invite today for this event, tell me, because then I have the wrong email address. Anyway, just ping me on Slack if somehow you don't receive it. The diploma, we're not officially certified. I'll be very honest. We're a non-profit organization. We're not an educational institution like a university. However, as far as I know, other code schools, I'm not going to mention any names, but also are not fully certified like a university diploma. So trust me that you can use this certificate just as much to put in your LinkedIn, to send it to companies. They can check the website. They will see how amazingly well done this website is. And they will see that we're just as much as a full bootcamp as any other bootcamp. So please use it because it will help you. If I make a mistake on the certificate, tell me, because I have to prepare a lot of them. So yeah, keep track of your email, please. So then I want to say thanks one more time. I said that a lot today. And I'm speaking for all of the people from MigraCode, Carlos, Michaela, Marta, my Sarah, Harriet, I can name them all, but Angelo, of course. But yeah, we're really honored to have worked with you, with all your stories, with your motivation, pushing through like crazy, and especially in COVID times, but even without COVID, it would have been a crazy challenge to get through this program. It's not an easy program. It's 8 months, 30 hours a week, next to jobs, next to families, next to this little lockdown that we had. So yeah, honestly, it was quite an honor, and thank you for joining. And then the last PS for today, that doesn't mean that's it. Don't think that right now you walk out of this office and you never hear from us again, and we don't want to hear from you again. You'll stay in our Slack. You can continue learning. If you want, you can even join. That's the advantage of the video classes. Some of the video classes of the new groups, just tell me on Slack and I'll add you to the channel, and you can just, on the days they have class, you can join. You can watch the recording still. And mainly, you can still make use of all these amazing volunteers that I mentioned. So on the one hand, if you're, for instance, doing your own projects, if you're have a freelance job and you need some help, use Support Technical. We got so many volunteers that they're waiting for you to ask stuff. So for now, definitely continue to use Slack like you did before. And it also counts for the employability channel, because that's what we will focus on now. For those who do not have a job yet, we're really going to try to help you with this. It has to come maybe a bit more from you, because the next job fairs, I will try to also keep place for those who don't have a job yet at that time. I guess it will happen around January. I'm quite sure we can involve those then as well. But it also has to come from you, like it already had to. So don't be shy to ask an employability. I want some feedback on my CV. I want some feedback on my letter. Keep doing that. Do it even more, because right now the job search has just begun for those who don't have it yet. And we're really, really eager to help you find it. And I'm already sure that Crystal right now is in Argentina right now, and she's jumping in her seat to, oh, we got a lot of more students that actually need a job. Let's help them. I'm already going to send them Slack messages, and I want to help them. So she's already a good example of all those volunteers who are just waiting to help you with actually getting that job or starting your freelance company or something like this. So yeah, for us, it's far from a goodbye. So that's it. So right now we're gonna, well, socialize COVID safe. So one more time, Glovo has offered the space today, which is amazing, besides the other things they've been doing for MigraCode. So that also means we have to be adhering to all the rules that I shared in the WhatsApp group already on Slack very carefully. So feel free to talk with each other, but really, really keep that distance. Make sure also that not someone is standing behind you. We're going to be bitchy police officers today, and I don't want to. So just try to really keep track on your own. Each one of you has their own water cup. Use that one and that one only. Use all the sprays that Glovo put here already to be fully clean with your hands. And really keep the mask on. Don't do the very, I think, typical Spanish way of talking and putting it down. Keep it up. And otherwise go outside, and then it's your own responsibility. So yeah, thank you very much, and we'll be in touch. Thank you, everyone.
Ya, ¿qué sigue, Cue? Es que no lo encuentro ni a él aquí.